I've created a monster because so before, when I was bringing her over here, she really thought of that cage that I set up as sort of her sanctuary. Like, that was her own space, and she felt safe there because it was sort of familiar. But today when I was working, I picked her up on my lunch hour and brought her back here, and she slept on a quilt between my legs on the floor, like underneath my work desk. And I haven't really seen her relax like that. She hasn't really slept ever since she's been over here. It's kind of always been, there's been too much to smell, too many new things, I figured. So she slept on the floor at my feet for a little while I was working. Well, then it was after I was done working, and I wanted to take them each for a walk. I can't do them together yet. I don't think they're there. I don't think they're ready, and I didn't really want to push the envelope too much. So I took Meeka first, because I tried to get her in her cage, and she put the brakes on, and she refused to go in, and I thought, well, that's weird. Now, I had just put that orthopedic bed in there, and I thought, okay, maybe that's it. So I worked with her for probably close to an hour, trying just to get her to go into the cage, and she would only go into the cage if both doors were open, so she could go in and directly out. And I'm kind of at a loss. I mean, so my theory is that she's never really had anything really soft to sleep on. So now that she's experienced that, she maybe doesn't want to go back, or now that she's been outside of her kennel for a certain period of time, she doesn't want to go back. Whatever the case is, I had a hard time getting her in there. And actually, I ended up just blocking off the bedroom where her cage is and leaving so I could take Bristow for a walk, because I took Meeka already thinking maybe she'll be tired and she might be stressed out from the walk because there's cars and, stuff like that, but she wasn't. She still wouldn't go in her cage. So like I said, I worked with her for an hour, and then I ended up just blocking it off with the baby gate, the bedroom back there, and me and Bristow went for a walk. And I was nervous because, since she's never been in a home type relationship, I wasn't sure if she was going to tear stuff up, or I wasn't really sure. And I was kind of stumped, because the cage was a necessity to her before. It was her area, and now she wants nothing to do with it. And I took the orthopedic bed out, I took the toys out, I tried using treats, I tried putting her paw inside and then praising her for just putting her paw in. And because generally with most dogs, you start somewhere small and you slowly escalate it. And it seems when you do it in increments, it becomes a problem that they can tackle instead of it being this huge thing they have to do all at once. But that didn't work with her. So, I mean, I was a little frustrated because she was doing really well before, and seems to like it here. I put up a baby gate, and if you see, she is standing on the other side of it. She won't relax. I have a thing, like an old couch cushion that she could use as a bed for something soft, but she wants no part of it. I don't know. I'm not really sure what her thing is, but if I can't get her in the cage tonight, I'm a little concerned about sleeping arrangements with my other dog, who does sleep in the bedroom with me. And if I have to keep them separate and she won't go in her cage, I kind of was betting on her seeing the cage as her home away from home. It has even a blanket that they gave me, that someone at the shelter gave her, I think for her birthday. And I don't know, I'm just kind of stumped a little bit. But I keep reminding myself that I knew there's going to be challenges. keeping her here overnight when we've only done a couple hours, you know, here and there before. So overnight is going to be, if I get any sleep tonight, I'll be surprised. So I may actually have to set up the bigger cage, the one for my taller dog, and maybe she needs more room. That was the other thing I thought of. Maybe it's just, this one's more size for her, so maybe since she's used to a kennel, maybe she wants something bigger. So I'm going to try that too. I hope I didn't get myself in over my head. So had Meeka spend the night last night, and neither dog seems to really understand what's going on. Bristow is unsure of her position in the house. I figured that was going to happen. So she's very clingy today. Again, I figured that was going to happen. Meeka, I think she kind of had a rough night. I was trying really hard to help her adapt as quickly or easily as she could. I think it was maybe too quiet. I think it was too soft here. Like, she had a bed, she didn't sleep on the bed, she wouldn't come up on my bed, she slept on the floor. And I noticed she was actually curled up on my laundry, my dirty laundry. Yeah, I put dirty laundry on the floor. So I don't know if she did that because it just happened to be there, or if she was trying to be on my laundry. I'm not really sure. But she is currently laying over there in a ball. She's on quilts, but they're not super, she's actually more on the floor. Last night, when me and Bristow were watching TV, I had the lights out, and she didn't like the dark. She felt like she could not relax when it was so dark. So I turned on a couple of these side lights, and that seemed to help. Then she laid her head down. But she wouldn't be part of our group, and I think she was just so unsure, maybe. I'm not sure if that's really the word, actually, but she just totally out of her element. Totally something new to her, and just like with the car rides and probably everything else she's going to see while she's with me, she wasn't really sure what to think of it, and so she just kind of secluded herself, and she laid behind this chair, kind of exactly where she is now, where me and Bristow were over here on this side, and I even tried to include her, and I kind of thought there was a period yesterday during the day where while I was working, she was between my legs on the floor, and it was like she wanted to be close to me. So I was kind of thinking that she was forming an attachment to me and wanted to be close and would want to be close to me, but she didn't. She secluded herself. In the shelter, she kind of does the same thing. When all the other dogs are barking and going crazy, she doesn't do that. She's older, she's been there a while, she knows what to expect. She's used to lots of loud noises and banging cages and, you know, barking dogs and just craziness. That's what she's used to. And she didn't get that last night. I'm not really, she didn't tear anything up though, so that's something. I had to, since she wouldn't go in her cage, and I even set up the big cage right next to me here. She wouldn't go in either cage, even if it had a bed in there. She really, I think she just, it's going to take her time. So based on that, I'm kind of torn about what I should do next. I'm supposed to take her back today. But I haven't really decided if it's better for me to take her back to the environment she's used to, or if I should keep her another night. And the only reason why I say that is because now that she knows what to expect, it's kind of in her memory of what happens when she's here. So I was thinking, you know, again, it was just kind of a thought that maybe if she saw that, she would be able to, okay, I know what to expect now, because I've already done this once before, and, you know, as long as I do this, this, or this, I'm okay. It does kind of concern me that she's not as clingy. I don't want to lose. Maybe I'll take her for a ride today and get that connection back with her, because she seems to do really well in car rides and it makes her excited. Maybe I'll do that with her and then bring her back here so that she kind of remembers and she comes into this with the same outlook that she did yesterday. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I haven't decided. I will say that I think Bristow needs my attention. Well, needs, wants, whatever. I think she feels like she's being displaced and she wants to claim me. Notice how she's up on top of my chair. Whereas Meeka wouldn't even come to me this morning when I tried to pet her yesterday. She kind of snuck through here and went underneath my chair, you know, underneath the table anyway, and sat between my legs, and I tried to let her do that. I even blocked this side off so Bristow couldn't see her, and she didn't want to do that. So I don't want to lose that connection I have with her, which is why I'm thinking seriously about keeping her longer than I thought. I will say, however, I was kind of stressed last night, and it took me a while to go to sleep because I was afraid that while I was sleeping, these two would somehow see each other, or, you know, the gate would fall over or something, and they would hurt each other. Oh, God. I was kind of like, it took me a while to calm myself enough to go to sleep. And usually Bristow sleeps with me, and she couldn't. So I sleep better when she's in the bed, so that contributed to it. And I thought that Meeka needed my comfort more. Maybe she doesn't. I didn't want to put her out here, where Bristow and I go in the bedroom, and then Meeka's the outside man, because she's always been the outside. You know, I wasn't sure what the right thing is, and I'm still not sure what the right thing is. I was kind of hoping she would get into this larger cage and feel more at ease, but that is not the case. At least it hasn't been yet. And I might try to bring her bed out here so that she can lay on it. I even got her blanket from the shelter, and she still didn't even step on it. Like, she wanted no part of it. I'm just not sure what to do. So it is Friday evening, and I still have Meeka. I decided to keep her at least until tomorrow. I'm not really sure if I'm going to take her back tomorrow. I'm kind of basing it on her. She's kind of been keeping to herself most of the day, and there hasn't really been an issue between the two dogs. Except when Bristow got too close to the baby gate and Meeka saw her and gave a growl. Other than that, Meeka has kind of been keeping to herself. She's stayed up here in the bedroom most of the time, and she refuses to lay on her bed or really anything soft. And I think that's because she's used to the kennel and the concrete floor. So I'm hoping, at least, she's on carpet, so that's something. I'd rather she lay on the carpet than the linoleum. At least that's something. I haven't taken her for a walk. I don't know. She just seems a little, I don't know. I feel like if I took her for a walk, it would put her back into that stress state. It's Friday. People are coming into the campground. There's loud trucks, pulling, pull behinds and things like that. So I thought that might stress her out more. I'm not sure if I don't think she's as high energy as Bristow, where she has to have a walk every day and as much exercise as possible, just because Bristow is a very high energy dog. However, Meeka is, older by a year and, hasn't really had a whole lot of playtime. I mean, they do have outdoor fenced in areas for her. I just don't know how much she actually ran and exercised. I've never seen that part of her outdoor playtime. I will say that most of the time, I would say 98%, 99.5% of the time, let's be real, she lays like this. And the thing about that is, if a dog trusts you, she's going to show her belly. And even if it's on her side where all 4 legs are going the same direction and her head is on the side, she's always laying like that, where her chest is down. And really at any time if something happened, or if a threat came in, or she didn't feel comfortable, at any time she's ready to stand up. Now I was up here with her laying on my stomach with our heads touching and my arm like across her back. So it was like I was laying kind of like this. And I was petting her with my arm and our heads were touching, and her front legs were out to the side, her back legs were almost all out to the side. So you see how she's laying like that in the back? It's kind of hard to see. Where she's kind of got one leg tucked under, but the other one is sticking out. She was almost showing her belly. I mean, we were close, but this is she and I laying together. So I'm hoping that means something. So you see the toy she's on? It's like a plush squeaky toy, and she has been carrying it everywhere. So it's actually Bristow's. So I think I'm going to have to get her own, and then just, keep an eye on her because of the choking hazard. Yeah, so this is kind of what she's been doing all day. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to take her back tomorrow or if I'm going to let her stay the weekend, because I don't want her to, I want her to feel comfortable here, and I'm not really sold that she's comfortable. So that way when I take her back and I bring her back here, so I take her back to the shelter, and then a couple days later maybe I bring her back here, I want her to remember that she enjoyed it here. And right now I think if I took her back, she'd just be like, oh my god, that place was so weird, oh my god, I'm so glad I'm not there anymore. I want her to, because she's kind of a tough nut to crack, I want her to get past that point and sort of let go. And I think we have a little ways to go. She's pretty stubborn. So am I. So she seems fairly content right now. I don't know if you can... Her eyes are starting to close. She doesn't quite trust me. She definitely doesn't trust Bristow. But, I don't know. I tried to get her in the golf cart today. It's probably too soon for that, but not so much to let her, drive around with me. Bristow does, but not quite there, but just to get her used to going into it. So I kind of went in one side and came out the other, and we did that a couple of times just so she got used to it. I sent her cage back because obviously that's not going to work, and maybe she's just sick of cages. I don't know. So we're going to try baby gates. I think I'm going to get another one just because when I have one baby gate, when I have one baby gate set up, that doesn't really tell me that the two can't meet each other over the top of it and hurt each other, and that's what I'm really worried about. That actually kind of makes me nervous for nighttime, because if I had two baby gates, I could keep Bristow in one section and keep her in the other, and there'd be a space between, so I know they couldn't possibly look over the top of the gate and, oh gosh, I'm glad. I was actually nervous because I went to go clean the bathrooms and left them both here with just one baby gate. And I thought, man, if Meeka goes to see her food, Bristow's going to come over, because her food's right by the gate. Bristow's going to come over and be like, hey, can we be friends now? And then I walk in here to like bloody jowls or something. I just don't want to. So far so good. I'm hoping for some movement tonight. I rented a movie on Redbox, so I would like Meeka to kind of join us instead of staying up here. I mean, even when I was working, I had the gate right next to my chair, and she still stayed up here. So she could have gone, you know, she had 3/4 of the trailer here that she could have gone in, but she still stayed back here. So that's why I think she's still acclimating. So I'll keep you posted as always. Okay, so it's still Friday night. It's almost 10 p.m. and I'm in the bedroom watching a movie. I was kind of hoping that Meeka would sort of get it, you know, like this is family time, sort of. I don't know. She wasn't doing it. I was trying to watch a movie in the family room area, and she was just sleeping behind the chair. That's kind of become her spot. There's a quilt back there, and she just lays on top of it, so she doesn't want anything soft. So I was hoping that if, like, Bristow and I were in the bedroom on the bed, she would kind of want to join us, but she doesn't. So I've got Bristow here on the bed with me. Meeka, that's her right there at the foot of the bed, but on the floor. And she seems content. I mean, right now she has full run of the place because I'm keeping Bristow next to me on the bed, and so she can go wherever, and she chose to go there. So I don't know, maybe it is saying something that she's in the same room, and she's still sort of, you know, she's just right there, you know, so it's not like she's out in the hallway or in the bathroom, or, you know, maybe that does say something. But she kind of has been keeping to herself the rest of the evening, which is fine. I mean, you know, as long as she's happy. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to be taking her back tomorrow, because I'm kind of waiting for her to tell me when the right time is, you know, like if she wants to go back, or when she's kind of adapted to this place enough where I can take her back and her still want to come here. I've got to push her through whatever hurdles I'm sure that she's jumping over. I've got to get her over those before she goes back. So that's what we're working on, unfortunately. Just a quick video here. I got Meeka on the floor. See how she's laying? Showing her belly a little bit. What a good girl, Meeka. What a good girl. That's huge. I was just talking to her and she did it kind of on her own. So it's a good sign. So it's Saturday, almost noon, and our night last night was much better than it was the night before. Meeka slept on the floor at the foot of the bed, and Bristow slept on the bed with me. And pretty much all morning, I went to clean the bathrooms, and I came back, and they've been doing okay. So Bristow's there on the couch, and Meeka's actually on her bed, which she's kind of been boycotting it or something. I think just because she's not used to something soft, so the fact she's been there for a couple hours, so I think this is a really good sign. I mean, like I said, there was a little bit of growling this morning because Meeka actually, my alarm went off and she saw me move to turn it off, so she came over and she puts her head like right by where my bedside table is, which is my phone is on, and she, you know, gets all excited and stuff like that. So I mean, I was up, and because I had Bristow on the other side of me, and then Meeka right by the edge of the bed, Meeka saw Bristow and growled. But I actually kind of comforted or scolded Meeka, not harshly, but just because Bristow hadn't gotten any closer. Bristow was still respecting her space. It's just Meeka happened to look up and Bristow was looking at her. And, I mean, come on. You know, you guys are going to be living together. You're going to have to get over it. I was also thinking of other ways to get them to get along. You know, for right now, I want Meeka to have her space until she feels comfortable, but I'm wondering if eventually it's going to get to the point where she's just being stubborn, and I might have to, you know, force her hand just a little bit, just so that, you know, she doesn't like being forced into things, and if anything, that's going to cause her to backslide if she is forced into doing something she doesn't want to do. I suspect that a lot of people have done that, forced her into something. It kind of reminds me of our foster kid, but anyway, so I'm going to try not to do that, but just to, you know, like if she wants to do something that Bristow and I are doing, she's going to have to be more tolerant of Bristow. Thing is, Bristow's an awesome dog. I mean, I think Bristow would really help Meeka in a lot of ways. For both of them, for her to kind of open up, and she's never been part of a pack, so she's never really had that kind of friendship. And if she did, that dog was soon adopted and sent away. So she's never really had or been able to depend on another human or another dog. So Bristow's a good one for her. But she's been doing pretty well. I'm hoping that the fact that she's laying here on her bed means that she feels comfortable here, and I'm still not sure if I'm going to take her back. I was actually sort of in my head planning on keeping her the rest of the weekend. So this being Saturday, that would be tonight and then Sunday night. And I'm hoping that by, you know, tomorrow evening, that she would be adaptable here. And at that point, if there aren't any like blaring issues, nothing that really stands out as, okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to figure this out, I need more time to figure this out, I may just take her back to the shelter to fill out the paperwork and bring her home with me that day. Okay, so it's Saturday evening. Well, really Saturday night, and I still have Meeka, of course, and she seems to really be taking to this bed here. She was actually laying under my desk, my work desk, for a little while. I think she seems to go there when she's been stressed, because we had just gone for a walk, and there were people and noises and trucks and stuff, so when we got back, she went under there. I left her here by herself for over an hour. I think it was like an hour and 15 minutes, and she didn't get into anything. She didn't destroy anything. She didn't, as far as I know, she was in the same spot the whole time. She did great. And they have been avoiding each other automatically without me saying anything. A lot of it is because Bristow, she knows that she has to stay away from Meeka. And I've noticed every time Bristow moves, Meeka lifts her head and she'll just watch what she does. You know, like when she was underneath the desk, Meeka would see Bristow go to her food, and when she came back, she was blinded by the chair. And so she would kind of watch to make sure Bristow didn't like come around the side and do anything. But she didn't growl. She just kind of, you know, was watching her. She seems way more content. I mean, no huge leaps forward today, I don't think, except that they're starting to get used to the other one being here with them. Thinking, you know, I was watching Meeka when I took her for a walk today. I did not exercise her yesterday because she was stressed kind of like the whole day. But I did walk her today. And when she walks the opposite of proud. She's scared of everything, and whereas when Bristow walks, her head's up high and her chest is out, and she kind of prances, and she knows she looks good doing it, you know, and I really want that for Meeka. So my idea, and it may be crazy, and I have to do some research to see if this is even a good idea, but to walk them together, to get like a piece of PVC and put a leash through it and clip it on both of them so that when they walk, they're walking together, but they don't actually come in contact with each other because I don't want them to fight. And then the thought is that eventually the PVC goes away and they can just walk with each other. You know, like still kind of ignoring, kind of like they do here, but at least I can walk them together. We can do like a pack walk. I think that Meeka really needs to do a pack walk and feel that sense of community with the, you know, me and Bristow. I think that would be really, really good for her. But I can't do it now because I'm afraid they're going to go after each other. Not really each other. Really, I'm afraid Meeka is going to go after Bristow. So I think that might... It's just something that I've been kind of tossing around in my head and figuring out how I would do that. And I'd have to find like a leash with 2 clips on each end. Maybe like 5 feet long and PVC, you know, put the leash through it and then clip it on each of them so they can't get to each other, but we still walk together as a family. And I would still have one on either side of me, so Bristow would be on my right, Meeka would be on my left, and that would keep them apart. I don't know if this is doable. It would probably look ridiculous, although I don't really care about that, but it's just something I was hoping it would help Meeka feel. You know, I really do believe that the energy of the human kind of is transferred through the leash when you're walking your dog. And I think it would probably work for Bristow and Meeka too. I think it would still work that way. Meeka needs a little bit of that confidence, and Bristow's got a lot of it. So I think that would be good. I just have to figure out if that's really a good idea for a dog that's as scared as Meeka is. Yeah, but yeah, I think it's going really well. I'm considering even keeping her past the weekend and just making it official, and you know, adopting her, just keeping her around. Some things I got to figure out as far as logistics, but yeah, I don't want to take her back there and then have her backslide. And I think, based on what I know about her, which granted is limited at this point, but based on what I know about her, if she goes back, she's gonna have to do all of this over again when she comes here. And I don't want her to have to go through all that again. I really feel like she's the type, because she's so stubborn, just like me, she would backslide. I don't know. It's just a feeling I get. God, she looks so peaceful. With her eyes closed and everything. She's so pretty. Ah, so cute. Meeka's getting some cuddle time in. She's been laying against me or putting her head in my lap for a little while now. She seems pretty comfortable. If I stop, yeah, that's a good girl. What a good girl. Boy, is she getting some attention this weekend. It's so pretty. So Meeka started over there on her bed. And she has scooted all the way over here. This is my leg right here. Hi, sweetie. Anytime I stop petting her, she pretty much insists, and she just gets closer and closer. It was like just her head that was off the bed, and then it was her front legs, and then it was her chest, and then, you know, it just kept going. So now she has 1 foot on the bed. That's my girl. I think she's starting to like me. Aren't you, baby girl? See? Atta girl. Oh, sweet baby. So we just had I think, hopefully a fairly good example of what is going to happen in the future and what's going to improve. Bristow is here on the landing. So the stairs Bristow was sitting here on the landing while I was getting dressed so I could go clean the bathrooms, and she laid here like on her chest, and Meeka came from the family room and wanted to come up the stairs, but Bristow was kind of like blocking, and they were within maybe 18 inches of each other, and Meeka was smelling Bristow's hind end, and Bristow kind of looked back at her, and I was like, Bristow, ignore. And she looked at me instead, and that there was no growling, there was no altercation. I didn't have a baby gate up to separate them. They just kind of figured it out, and it was, I think, maybe enough for Meeka, because she went back out and laid down. But still, that's huge. First of all, I didn't have to use baby gate to you know, kind of referee their interactions, and I feel like they're figuring it out by themselves. They understand, well, I think Bristow's understanding that she's not supposed to pay any attention to the other one, and Meeka's understanding that this other dog that lives here is part of, she's part of the place, you know what I mean? Like, eventually she's gonna, I think, adapt and just accept it. Like, it is what it is. Like, this is just, she lives here too. And, yeah, so I think that's a good sign. They had something similar happen, last night when I came in. I took Meeka outside. I took Bristow outside first, brought Bristow back in, and then clipped the leash to Meeka and took Meeka outside. And when I came in, Bristow was kind of standing to the left of the door. So Meeka came in, looked at Bristow, saw she was there, and then came up the stairs here instead. So she didn't growl. She just saw her and turned the other way. And I was like, yes! Yes, we're making progress here. So I think one of the great things about living in a camper is that you can hear the rain. However, as I suspected, Meeka's not a fan. And she originally went under my work desk, and like, that's where she seems to go when she's stressed or scared or whatever. And she went under there originally. She heard the rain, and I stopped the show just to kind of show her, you know, it's safe, you're okay. But she went under the desk. I was like, that's fine. So then I came back over here and sat on the floor, and she came over and joined me. So I just want her to feel safe. I did read some articles today about fearful dogs, and they mentioned that when a dog is fearful, you're not supposed to pet them or give them affection or say, oh, good girl, or whatever, because they think that what you're asking from them is to be fearful because you're praising them for it or you're somehow rewarding them for it. So I'm going to try to be not praising her for that. She did come over and see me, so she feels safe next to me, so I'm hoping that that is enough. So it's Sunday night, and I just want to do one more quick video because it's like the last time the girls get to go to the bathroom, and I was going to take Bristow to go check the bathrooms with me so she can ride in the golf cart, but Meeka saw me getting up, and she had to go potty too. Well, Bristow was already standing at the door, and Meeka came up right up next to her, and they stood like face to face, and nothing happened. I clipped the leash on Meeka, and Bristow kind of came out, even though I didn't necessarily want her to come out with me and Meeka, but she came out anyway, and the three of us like went to, you know, it was like our first like pack pee, which sounds ridiculous, but it was kind of cool. And Bristow stayed with me and Meeka, and we just, I don't know, it was just kind of neat that we can do things together, and I feel like Meeka's starting to accept, she stared at me because I keep saying her name, she's starting to accept Bristow, and that's kind of what I was going for. And it was so funny because, you know, Bristow peed, she kind of goes in the same area, and Meeka's still checking it out and sniffing around and stuff like that, and Bristow just kind of followed us as we moved, like, along the pavement, like, you know, because there's grass there, and she's just following us. and she stuck with us the whole time, but it was kind of like we were together, and it was kind of nice. I'm hoping that means, good things, that it's finally happening, and it's happening a little quicker than I thought. So what I think I'm going to have to do is more stuff for the three of us as a pack. So I mentioned in another video having that leash with like PVC, because it's lightweight, between the two of them, so that they stay apart but they walk forward. But maybe I don't need that. Maybe if I just have them on either side, because they're doing a really good job of sort of like ignoring each other but like accepting the other one. Maybe I don't need that PVC. Maybe we can just go for a walk together, the three of us, and there won't be any issues. I don't know. I'm kind of excited about it, but I don't want to push it too much. So maybe another day or so of the individual bathroom, maybe, and the individual walks, and then maybe we'll see how the two do, and at that point maybe we'll go on a pack walk, which I'm super looking forward to. It'd be really nice if I had a GoPro and I could just kind of film the three of us together. So, good night. So it's Monday morning, and I did not separate the girls with a baby gate last night. Bristow got up in bed with me, and Meeka actually curled up on an old couch cushion that Bristow used to use as her bed, but it's pretty thick, and it was next to the bed. So Meeka actually slept there in a ball, like almost the exact same position all night long. I did not put up a baby gate to separate them because I wanted really Meeka to be able to come out here in the main area if she wanted to sleep under my desk or whatever. But it ended up that Meeka stayed, and Bristow came out here and slept on the couch. But there was no altercation. This morning we all went outside together, and, the girls got to go potty or whatever, and Bristow just kind of stuck by Meeka and I. And there's some growling every now and then, but, nothing huge. And I actually corrected Meeka this morning just because Bristow hadn't moved toward her. Bristow was just there, and Meeka happened to look up, and there was Bristow. So she gave a growl, and I just touched her shoulder, and, was like, no, So, she seems to be doing pretty good. She's right there. And Bristow's over on the couch. They're doing pretty good. Hi, Meeka. How'd you sleep, honey? Such a good girl. I think she's settling in here. I don't think I'm going to take her back to the shelter. I don't want her to backslide. So I just had a Skype meeting with my boss and a couple of my bosses, actually. There were 5 of us total on the Skype call. And I hear all this noise behind me. And I'm like, what is that? Like, if I can hear it, they can hear it, So I'm like, looking behind me. And the girls are playing. No joke. Like, they're not fighting. They're playing. Tails wagging. Down on their front paws with their butt in the air, and they're like jumping around, like hopping. It was kind of loud. Like, I think it was the thumping on the floor that is what I was hearing, and I was like, what is that? And then I thought, oh my god, they're playing, and I can't videotape it because my boss is watching. But I thought, oh my gosh, they're playing, oh my gosh. And they're cool. Meeka, I just tried to get another video of them, and Meeka walked around Bristow with her tail high and wagging, which means she's excited. She's not nervous. I think we might go on our first pack walk today. I'm just like, what? Really? It's been to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 4 days. I've only had her for 4 days. I can't wait to watch them play. I just think it'll be the coolest freaking thing. Go her down there. Hi, Meeka Moo. Hello, pretty girl. Hello. You got a new sister? You got a new sister, baby girl? Are you happy? She seems happy. She's hoarding toys. See, she stole that ball. And that pillow over there, she stole that too. So down here, hello, pretty girl. They're getting along. It's awesome. We are on our first pack walk. All three of us. I think Meeka's got to go potty. She doesn't usually go in the grass. She's still getting used to it. Good girl. But I clipped them to the bathroom door while I checked the first place. And they did fine. She also seems to be walking a little prouder. Watch her tail. So let's see how we do. Look at that tail. Remember before how it was tucked very firmly between her back legs? Not anymore.